Good morning, everyone. Uh, let me, I'm gonna try my video, but really my internet's a little funky, so I may shut that off. Um, okay, well, let's get started. Today we are going to be just talking about goal setting for, obviously, we always kind of say for the next year, we always start talking about this in, December-ish in the fall for the following year. Um, so we just, it's just always good to kind of have this top of mind, and really. I don't know if it scares people. I don't know if folks are intimidated or they struggle with setting goals and then following up. But really the idea behind goal setting is like they're your goals, period. So whether it's a business, personal, they're your goals. If you want to, set one goal or five goals or, or whatever, that's really the idea behind goal setting. So we're going to kind of just talk about that a little bit. Then I'm going to show you some options for some resources of some spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets that you can use to sort of help you. Um, but again, just remembering, these are your goals, and you can decide, kind of, what you want to set and how to follow up and, sort of hold yourself accountable, maybe have a partner, hold you accountable, throughout 2025. So we're going to just get started here. So, computers being wonky, of course. So, real estate goal setting can help you measure your success and grow your career. So, obviously, that's, kind of a simple statement once you think about it, but it really is. So, and again, as we just kind of chat about this, and as always, if anyone has anything or has set goals or sort of maybe even found a way to hold yourself accountable, please stop it and stop me at any point and let me know or just kind of unmute yourself. But obviously the idea of setting goals is is to make, I mean, in this case, yeah, it's going to, help you, grow your career, but in reality, it's going to help you be a better person. If if you sell more, you make more money. If lose 10 pounds or exercise more or spend more time with family, you're going to be a happier person. So again, I kind of threw that statement in there, obviously, because we're in real estate, but just realizing just the broad uh, concept of setting goals. So, here's some tips for setting, your goals. And I said real estate goals, but really, it's just as important when we think, if we think about personal goals as well. So stay disciplined, obviously. We're going to talk about setting smart goals and they're if I said I want to make more money next year, or if I made $50,000 this year, is it realistic that I can say I want to make $300,000 next year? I mean, we gotta, we gotta be smart about that. But staying disciplined, just kind of leading up to, making sure we hit that goal. So maintain your client database. Just some, if we want to sell more, if we want more deals, if we want to make more money in real estate, we know a chunk of that is going to come from the people you know. So that just an extra little piece that that I threw in there is just maintain your client database. Make sure that we have your sphere and that you're touching base with them regularly. That's, again, just an important piece, for, when we do set the goals is to making sure we attain them. And business and personal goals. So, set a couple business goals, set a couple, personal goals, and I obviously I put in there health, family, friends, things like that. So again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. So use the SMART framework. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So again, specific, I want to lose some weight next year. Well, you can measure that because if you weigh yourself today and you weigh 2 pounds less next year, you weighed less. But obviously, we need, we want to say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to exercise for 60 minutes 3 times a week. I want to spend, I mean, you can save more time with family and friends, but, I'm going to, have one day a week where I'm spending time with family and friends, things like that. Same thing with the business goals. I want to make more money next year. I want to sell more homes. Well, again, measurable if that you sold, 10 this year and you sell 11 next year. But I want to, when we talk about being specific, I want to sell 10 more homes next year. I want to make $50,000 more than I did this year. What is that? What is that specific goal? Obviously measurable. If I say I want to sell 10 more homes or make this much more or lose 10 pounds, we need to know our starting point. So we need to know what we did this year. So just make sure,
Entonces, el problema realmente,
that you that this year you made, this much money. So or sold this many homes, or this is what you weigh today, or you haven't worked out much, so you're starting at that point. Achievable, similar to what I mentioned earlier. If you sold $50,000 or you made $50,000 this year, if you haven't worked out in a year, saying, "Hey, I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm going to lose, this much weight, whatever." Or, "Hey, I made $50,000 this year. I want to make 300 next year." Not that you can't, but we've got to make sure that those goals are achievable. In that, it's like, okay, so maybe, if I made $50,000 this year, maybe I can make 75 next year, or if I'm going to go to 100. But if I'm going to go, whatever it is, I need a plan as well. I can't just, it's not just going to happen. It's not going to magically happen that I'm all of a sudden, just going to start making more money. I need to have a plan in place. How am I going to do it? Who am I going to talk to? How many more contacts am I going to make a day? The same thing with the personal goals. I need to set myself up. I'm going to work out every single morning at 6, or that, I mean, I need a specific plan for that. And then relevant and time bound, obviously, if the goal's relevant, you're more likely to want to do it. If I just randomly said I'm going to start doing something and I didn't, I don't have any interest in it, and I'm likely to just let it slide. So, think about that. And then, of course, time bound, without a doubt. We can't just put it out there generically. Um, we need a specific time frame for when we're going to achieve this goal. And then we just need to, from the very first one I threw out there earlier, is stay disciplined and keep ourselves accountable, or like I said, have some sort of partner, like, hey, let's do this together and we're going to work out together, or we're going to meet once a week or once a month and go over our goals and make sure that we're staying disciplined and in adjusting as we go, I guess. So use the SMART framework. Break down goals into smaller steps. So I'm going to actually talk about a book that all of the leadership, we did it in we did it in 2023 and in part of 2024. It's called the 12-week year. So I'll talk about that. But the idea is taking, instead of saying I want to make $50,000 more than I did in 2020, I want to make $50,000 more in 2025. Maybe we say, hey, I want to make $10,000 more, or I want to sell three more homes in the first quarter in 2025, and then sort of focus on that. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about that 12-week year and kind of what that entails. But it's all about taking a goal for the year and breaking it down and doing it essentially in 12 weeks or quarterly. So, but I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get to that slide. And celebrate your accomplishments. I mean, without a doubt, there is nothing like, hitting your goal or doing the right things to get to your goal. Maybe you haven't hit your goal yet, but you put something in place. You're actually exercising. You exercise 3 times in a week. And that's your goal all year, but you did it once. Celebrate it. You put something in place for your business, and it worked. It got you a lead. It got you one listing. It got you a buyer. Something like that. Celebrate that and use that as fuel for the next week or the next month. So it's definitely it's super exciting to celebrate as you're going along, and kind of use that as motivation to help you keep going. Because when we first started, I talked about, again, not sure if it's a fear of setting goals, but it's definitely, I set them. I usually set them, and then I lose track of them. I don't really stay disciplined. I'm not holding myself accountable for the goals, things like that. So so it's a lot easier if you see things starting to work, and you get excited and celebrate those. So definitely think about that. Okay, so here's the 12-week year. And this is a book. It's actually a pretty easy read, but I'm going to kind of give you the concept behind it, and just kind of, break it down that way. And I personally am doing all of my goals using the 12-week year now. So, just consider breaking down the year into 12-week periods. So what this book, the general concept is when you set a goal for obviously 2025, and you say, I want to sell, 10 more homes, I want to make more money, or I want to exercise more. um, you know, if you go through January and you're just not on track. You didn't, you're not selling more homes. Something isn't in place. You didn't exercise as much as you want. Whatever your goals are, it's so easy for us to say, well, I have 11 more months. And then, and it will happen throughout the year. So then February comes along, and uh, you know, uh, I'm starting to, I'm doing a few things, but I have 10 more, 10 more months. And we do that all throughout the year. Well, guess what? You break your goal if your goal is losing 10 pounds next year, exercising, this or making $50,000 more, that's not your 12-week goal. Your 12-week goal is, I'm going to make $12,500. You break your goal up so it's attainable. But the idea is you have 12 weeks to do it. You don't have 12 months. You can't go. I mean, you go one week and you're like, well, geez, I only have 11 weeks. I don't have 11 months. So it kind of pushes us to be a little bit more accountable. Um, and the goals are, even though the time frame's smaller, the goals are smaller. So it kind of pushes you to not push off. I have more time. I have more time, because there's not, you're going to get into September, and you didn't make the money you wanted, you haven't exercised, you haven't spent more time with your family, whatever your goals are, and then you're depressed and it's sad and you can't celebrate anything. So that's kind of a big piece where folks start letting go of their goals and like, well, I'll look forward, for goals for 2026, and we just kind of keep this process going, and we're, maybe we haven't, actually reached our goals. So yeah, so it's just you literally break, and I have a sheet that we kind of built, and I'll share that with everyone to help you, sort of, put your goals on this 12-week year spreadsheet, and you'll be able to keep track of them and mark it down in things. But I'll show you that in a second as well. But definitely consider this if it, just if it's, you don't even have to read the book. I'd be happy to chat with you a little bit more about it. But I think the concept's there where it's, you're just breaking your yearly goals into smaller periods, and you can break it down by month, you can break it down by 6 months, whatever. But the idea being, going to kind of hold yourself a little bit more accountable, to not push your goals off. And that's what happens to, trust me, all of us. And that's why we, set a goal and might not follow through with it because we just, we think we have time, and then we get, maybe a little bit down that we aren't hitting it or we didn't make our money. And then we just, sort of give up. And we just don't want that. We want you to, be happier if you're exercising or spending time with family. Obviously, if you're making more money, we're happy about that as well. So that's really, how we want it. So, for 2025. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you some of the options that we have for resources. So this is actually the 12-week goal, and I think Matt's on the call. I think he actually created this in Excel. So I'm happy to share this with you, and you can put your goals on it. And when we did this, we actually did some business goals and some personal goals, and then you'll see where if there's a goal that, so when is the goal due? So whether it's, hey, I'm going to put my sphere together, and then get it into Engage. So that's not. I mean, it could be, but it shouldn't be a 2025 goal. It should be, hey, I want to have it done by the end of February. Okay, so you would put the due date as week 8. By week 8, I need my spreadsheet done, and then uploaded to Engage, or whatever your goal is. So, and some of them can be weekly. Some of them can be like, hey, every week I'm going to exercise 3 times a week. And then at the end of each week, okay, did I work on my sphere, so that I can make my goal by the end of February? Did I work out 3 times? Did I spend an evening with my family? Again, whatever your goals are. And then you can actually break it down and keep track of it. And I have this printed out, and it's, kind of somewhere where I see it all the time. So it's just an option for you, to to track and kind of push yourself, sort of hold yourself accountable, each day, each week, each month. But if we set goals and look at them, what, I'm going to shut my video off because my internet is unstable. If we set goals and, I want to make this, I want to exercise more, and then look at your goals in June. You have no idea. Did you put things in place to make more money? Like I said, we know that if I just continue what I'm doing, I'm I'm gonna sell what I did this year, or in general. But if I put things in place, if I'm working on my sphere and then get it in Engage, and If I make, 5 calls a day to my sphere and in different folks, if I make 10 calls, I'm more likely to get extra leads and extra appointments. But I need to put a plan in place, and of course, I need to hold myself accountable to actually do it. So, but if I look at that each day, if I look at it on Friday, how did the week go? What didn't I do? What did I do? And celebrate your accomplishments and realize what you didn't do. And you're a week into it rather than 6 months into it, where you look at it and go, oh, geez, I'm not going to make my goal. And you panic, we panic, and we're not quite sure what to do at that point. And, man, um, it's already June, but if it's one week in, if it's 2 weeks in, even a month in, we have plenty of time to adjust, get back on track, and obviously hit our goals, or adjust our goals, and then work towards hitting them. That adjusting goals is fine as well. So this is just, again, the spreadsheet for the 12-week year. The next one I have. And this one is from Jared James. He's a national trainer coach. He will be at Fuel, by the way, in San Diego the end of February. And this is just a very simple spreadsheet that he has. It's hey, what do you want to make next year? And then it'll actually break it down to how much did you make a deal last year. So the average commission per deal. So I sold 5 homes. My average commission was 5,000. Whatever your number is, put that in there. In this basically says, hey, you got to sell 40 homes at 5,000 to make 200,000. And then really what you need to do is, well, how many homes did you sell this year? So we actually look at what we did this year, how many appointments we went on, how many listings we got, how many listings sold. If I need 31 appointments, again, based on my numbers from 2024, but kind of a baseline for hitting your goal in 2025. And then same thing with the buyers. How many buyers did do you have, or did you have in 2024? How many of them actually bought a home? And how many of them closed? And then you can figure out, well, geez, I need 31 buyer appointments. So kind of the same number, but it just happened to work out that way. So I need 31 listing appointments to get 20 listings that'll sell. And I need 31 buyer appointments because 11 of my buyers are just going to, not end up buying, but I'm going to end up with 20 of them. And then if that happens, I'm going to get my 40 deals on average. If it's 5 grand a deal, then I'm going to make my 200,000. So this is kind of a simple version of, hey, if I want to make a certain number, and this is what I made this year, this is what I'm going to have to do next year. And so it starts here. And then I need to, again, if you sold 20 homes this year, or had 20 deals, and you want to do 40 next year, something's got to change. Have you put your sphere together? Have you made phone calls? What are you going to do different? Are you going to, farm a certain area? Are you going to, do some extra marketing, do more social? Something has to change, but this is the core for us to look at, like, okay, what am I going to do? So this is part A of setting your goals. Part B is, all right, how am I going to sell 40 homes? But it's kind of a simple version of just kind of putting it out there. I want to make this more, this much money, because a lot of us don't, I guess a lot of us might not realize the correlation. I mean, we kind of do, but the correlation to selling something, closing a deal, and then how much money it is. Because maybe it's 3,000 this time, and then you get a better deal and you make 7,000 on it, and then you make everyone's different, but when you kind of break it down from for the whole year, you kind of have an average for every deal. And if the average is 5,000, it puts it in perspective like, well, geez, if I said I wanted to make 50, I got to sell 10, whatever number it is. Um, it sort of breaks it down to, okay, like I didn't realize that I actually, the 200 means I got to sell 40 homes and I only sold 10 this year. So, is it attainable? Is it, not sure, but again, something's going to have to change if um, if it's a kind of a stretch from what you've done in 2024. So, and I just want to say this, like I've stressed that these are your goals, and your goals can be, I want to make $30,000. I want to make $1 million. I want to lose five, can be anything you want. Like we always, I kind of use the examples. I want to make 200,000. I want to, but I kind of looked at who's on the call, and some of us are not part-time realtors, but maybe we have other things going on. In 40 deals is just, I just can't do it. Well, then set your goal. I want to make $30,000. I want to sell 10 homes. I want to, that is completely fine because they're your goals. So just even, so when we throw out big numbers and kind of use them as examples, just realize, obviously, the goal can be whatever you want, whatever, you need, for you in 2025. So again, I'll be able to share this spreadsheet with you. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. So you enter some numbers and it does the calculations. So, but I'll share this as well with everyone. And then I have, so not a very good picture of this one, but this is the ERA business planning. And I'll have this to share with you as well. What this actually is this is very extensive. If you want to use this or even part of it, the ERA business planning, I guess worksheet they call it, will break down, how much money do you need to survive, I guess. This is my utilities, this is my rent or mortgage, and this is my car payment, and this, like it'll break down every dollar you spend, come up with a number. Well, I need $1,500 a month, whatever that number is. And then, of course, like, hey, how much more do you want? Or, do you want to save for a vacation? Or, what do you want to buy a new car? You want to, put $10,000 in savings, whatever your goals are. This one's pretty elaborate and you'll kind of see in the bottom, there's quite a few tabs where you can break down your, monthly or yearly expenditures, and then maybe your market, your costs for being a real estate agent, and mix them in. And then if you add to it, but this one's pretty cool with, just really helping you break down, um, uh, how much you absolutely need. So that's a pretty good push for us, I guess. If I don't sell 10 homes to make the 50 grand that I need to pay my rent and I'm in trouble. Like something's, it's not going to work. I need a place to live. I need to eat, and of course I want to go on vacation or I want to get a new car. That can also be a drive. But when it comes down to, I need to sell this much, not just like, well, I'd love to, make 50 grand next year. No, I need to, because otherwise I don't have a place to live. So it's kind of, when you think it that way, well, I don't know, that's pretty good motivation for me, when I think about that. So this one's kind of cool with, taking it to that level. So the Jared James one, pretty simple. I want to make this much money. Break it down. This is how many deals you need, and how many appointments. I like that. So you can actually use both. You can kind of mix the two. But this one is pretty good about, kind of really being extensive, with really the whole money part. and then obviously, I kind of like the 12 week year spreadsheet, for any personal goals, but there's not really a spreadsheet for, um, you know, uh, or you don't really need a spreadsheet, I guess, for your personal goals, but more keeping track of them. Have a tablet for, hey, I worked out. If you decide to weigh yourself, every Friday or every Monday or whatever day, keep track of that in a little, a paper or tablet somewhere. But again, I have a spot, and if and a lot of folks have like boards and things. I don't, but I have my spreadsheets printed out, where I can update them. I can scratch something out. I can put a little note on it. I have them pretty handy, and they're visible for me, so I can see my goals. And I look at it and go, oh, geez, that's I don't say that's right. I forgot about it, but it's every time I see it, it's a little push like, yep, I need to make 5 calls today because otherwise I'm not gonna, do this, or I need to focus on my sphere spreadsheet that I'm building. I need to add 5 names to it because otherwise I'm not going to get it done by the end of February. So super important in my opinion, that the goals are kind of visible for you, um, and sort of help push you when you see them. So whatever that looks like for you, but I do think it's important that they're front of mind. Some folks write things on their bathroom mirror, and just so you get up and you see it like, yes, so, whatever works for you. But the goals visible are super important. And that's it. So that is what I had. I know I see some folks on here, so I don't know if anybody will be willing to unmute and just, and well, first of all, any questions, but if anybody has just any thoughts on the goal setting process, anything that has worked for them, in the past, or what's 2025 look like for you. I'm going to stop for a minute and see if anybody wants to add anything to. No one's gonna. I was thinking maybe Greg would
Hey,
unmute himself.
hey, Wayne, I'm here.
I knew you. Yeah, I figured you'd have something to maybe add, or how you kind of
Yeah.
work with your goals
Well,
usually.
I'm taking a quick visit up to New England, so I'm in the car,
Oh,
enjoying some
nice.
snow and cold weather like you are. But yeah, I mean, I've taken similar tactics as you when it comes to determining goals. It's just reverse math of how much do I want to make? Okay, well, if I want to make 150,000 or 100,000, whatever that number may be, what is the average sales price? What is my average commission? How what how use that math to figure out how many sales I have to make to meet my goal. And then I take it a step further of, okay, well, how am I going to get those sales? So I would do some, additional math there of, okay, well, let's say I'm just going to, rely on, half of that would be, my sphere of influence and referral network, and then half of that might be new business. What do I need to do to get that new business? I've always used internet leads as a big source of my sales, and using average conversion rates of maybe 3% average conversion for an internet lead to turn into a sale. Using that math, okay, now how many internet leads do I need to purchase through the year to meet my goal? And then at that point, then I start searching for my, uh, you know, uh, lead providers. So that's how I've always come up with my goals and how to meet them.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate that. And and just obviously, if you're on this, or we have a lot of folks watching these after, you know, the second part. So you come up with what you want to, what your goals are, and then the second part is where we come in. Like, let us help. Let us help get your database in place. Let us help you get engaged, going neighborhood news and things. Let us set up a plan. Like, okay, so you got to call these 5 people and go through. That's the fun part for us is helping you get your goals accomplished. So you tell us, hey, this is what I want. I need 20 deals next year. I need, whatever that looks like. And then we come in and say, okay, do you want to farm? Do you want to, are you actually going to make calls? Like you said, how many, or, are you going to buy leads, and how are we going to convert them, and how are we going to get you on more listing appointments? And, that's kind of where we come in, and that's our job. Our job is to, help you, hit your goals. So, this is not all on you. You gotta set your goals, and you got to be committed to hitting them. And then we come in, and ERA and all of us come in, and the tools we have, the platforms we have, we kind of figure out what works for you, and what's going to help you hit your goals. Uh, and then we're there for you all every day, all year, to make sure that we're helping you stay on track. So I love that. So I appreciate you saying that, Greg.
Yeah, if it, obviously, in the equation I just spelled out, let's say half your business is going to be repeat business. Well, you've got to utilize, like you said, the tools that we're providing you. So, I'd say, utilizing something like Moxie, to work your, referral network and, sphere of influence, and make sure you've got neighborhood news set up and you're keeping in touch with, your past clients. Because if you're not, there's 10 other agents that are actually keeping in touch with your clients. So, definitely stay in touch with them, because if you're afraid to pick up the phone, there are other agents that are not. So, there's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing, a home that you sold go on the market with a different agent, 5 years later. And then of course the other aspect of that is, using some of our lead generation tools. If you don't want to buy leads from, say, realtor.com or Zillow, listings to leads, for example, here in Southwest Florida, between our 4 offices, we have close to 200 active listings. So, it's, pretty easy to just, grab a listing that you like and, start advertising it, use listings to leads, and, pay $3, on average per, internet lead, through Facebook, and start working that network. And, same thing, use, your CRM to, also assist you in keeping in touch with, those leads that you're picking up. Not to mention the fact that, if we've got 200 active listings, it's pretty easy to pick $1 million house that we have listed and, offer to do some open houses every weekend. And then you're kind of honing in on the type of client that you would like to, come in contact and gain, not to mention, trying to get listings within that neighborhood by meeting other sellers, as well. So yeah, you just obviously got to just, set those goals and, come up with a plan, to get there, and then really stick with that plan.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And just to sort of stress, like, as examples, we kind of always just use these huge numbers. But if you're new and like, hey, I want to have 5 deals, by the end of in 2025, or if, you were at 5 and you want to just double it to 10, not go to 40, we can still help you with all of that. We can help you get started, and, here are options. And if you don't know the tools we have, like Greg was just mentioned a few of them, listings to leads, and of course we have Moxie, and so using tools, will help us get you to your goals. And then, obviously, you can build on it. And, when you get to, if you wanted to get to 10 deals, maybe you're at 10 deals at June, you scratch that off and go, hey, look, I want 15 deals now. You don't stop at 10. So, but, they're your goals. What do you need? What do you want to do? Whatever your push is for setting the goal. And then let us help. Let us help you get to that. I'll push you on the personal side. I'll call you up and go, hey, did you exercise 3 times this week? Can't really help you with that one, but we can help you with the business side for sure. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm just going to pause for just a second. Anybody else have any questions, anything to add to it? All right. Well, thank you guys. This is recorded. So I'll put the recording in the Agent Hub, and I will actually attach the 3 spreadsheets that I have. I'll attach that, and you'll be able to download them and check them out. Again, if you have something, that you use, totally cool. Just wanted to throw those 3 out that I have. And just see if any of them sort of work for you, to help you, just get a little organized. But if you guys have any questions, if you're kind of getting to the point where you're putting goals down and thinking about them, you can literally just put them on a piece of paper. You can do whatever you want with them, but don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always available. Obviously, your managers in the office are always available to sit down with you and kind of make sure that your goals are smart, the smart goals. So don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll look forward to a successful 2025. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, take care.